always known that I have nice thick hair, but you guys lately have been really pointing out that my hair is nice and shiny and you love the color and you want to know how I keep it healthy. So today I'm going to share some of those tips with you. Tip number 1 is to use silk products. And as you can see, I am wearing silk right now. These are silk pajamas by Lily Silk, and this video is sponsored by Lily Silk. I'm really excited about this because I found Lily Silk probably about a year ago, and I've just been really into silk lately. Silk pillowcases, silk headbands, silk scrunchies, and I just feel like it's so good for your hair and for your skin. I was looking for products that I felt like were a really good price point and just really good quality, and Lily Silk happened to be that brand that I was trying to purchase from. So I was really excited when they reached out to me because I was like, yes, I already talk about you all the time. I love Lily Silk. You guys always hear me talking about being very gentle with your skin. You don't want to tug on it or pull on it or anything like that because it can cause some damage, especially damage that can be long lasting. And the same goes for your hair. You want to be very gentle with your hair. You don't want to pull on it because that can break it. It can give you more split ends. For people that have thinning hair, it can be a little bit of an issue if you're not being more gentle. So silk products are just amazing for your hair and for your skin. First and foremost, you guys have heard me talk about this so many times, that is having a silk pillowcase. So one product that I highly recommend is the Lily Silk pillowcases. The ones that I go for are the zipper ones. I just really like that they're easy to use and you're not trying to figure out which way your pillow goes into the pillowcase. They have a ton of different colors to choose from. I started off with buying white silk ones, but I eventually went and bought grayish ones and bluish ones to match my comforter, and I really love these. If there's any silk product that you decide to buy, it should be a pillowcase because you're spending the entire night pressing against your face and on your hair. If not your face, some people I know can actually sleep on their backs, and those are people that are very lucky. But for me, for instance, I like to sleep on my side, and I'm constantly rubbing my face and my hair into my pillow. So for me, a silk pillowcase was kind of like the gateway for me because I feel like that's the most important silk product to have. I recommend having something like this that's gonna be nice and soft for your skin and for your hair. Some additional things though that you can do, you can buy some scrunchies. First off, I just started buying these because scrunchies were in, and then I was like, well, silk sounds good. And then I realized there's a huge difference. When you're using a silk scrunchie, it's the same as your pillowcase. You don't want it to tug on your hair. I feel like elastic bands can really tug and pull and mostly break your hair, and that's always a problem because you don't want to have split ends. So I've been really gentle, especially lately because I'm postpartum. I've been losing a little bit of hair. When my thyroid is acting up, I lose even more hair. So I'm always conscious of that, and I want to be very delicate with my hair, and I love using silk scrunchies for that exact reason. They also come in just so many really fun colors. They're so soft, and they actually, for me, with thick hair, they actually hold all of my hair into a ponytail, and sometimes I even put them in a top knot. And if you guys are interested in buying any Lily Silk products, I have a discount code for 12% off. It's just Susan12. I'll leave all the information below in the description box. Tip number 2, I use a hair mask at least once or twice a week. The one that I use the most is this one from Joico. It's their Defy Damage Protective Mask. One, I just really love the scent, and if you guys have heard me talk about hair products, I'm obsessed with a really nice fragrance. I don't want it to be overpowering. When I do use a lot of fragrance, I tend to go for fragrance in my hair products because I want it to smell nice. I don't know, it's just one of those things where, to me, that whole sensorial experience is really important when it comes to hair products for me, and I love the way this smells. It has like a light floral scent to it, but I can't really explain it. You guys just have to smell it. It's very nice. This one is not just moisturizing. The reason why I like this product specifically is because it helps to rebuild the bonds of your hair, which is really important. And you hear hairdressers talk about this a lot, the like bond building products. This is one of those products. It's made for hair that has been damaged, or if you're doing any treatments to your hair, which I color my hair constantly, then you want a mask like this, not just something that's hydrating or moisturizing, because that is what you tend to find with a lot of the hair masks. This one actually has ingredients in it that are gonna help to restore your hair and nourish your hair and then also moisturize it. So I really recommend this one. It also has other really nice ingredients for your hair. There's moringa seed oil, there is silica in this, there's even arginine in this, and all of those help to really just nourish your hair. They're great ingredients for skincare, and I think of my hair sometimes like my skin in that you wanna have those nourishing ingredients with lots of vitamins in it, and this one has all of that. Tip number 3 is to not wash your hair too much. I say this all the time and people are like, What do you mean don't wash your hair all the time? I wash my hair every single day. I don't. I do not wash my hair every single day. The absolute most I'll wash my hair is every other day. It's one of those things where it's like I want those natural oils to really help the skin on my scalp, which is skin, you guys. If you want to think about it like that, scalp is skin. So if your skin is getting dry or flaky, sometimes you need to let those natural oils protect your skin and nourish your skin on your scalp. But it also goes to your hair. What you should be doing is just not washing your hair too often, at the most like 2 to 3 times a week, and then using that time to really condition and nourish your hair. And you know, another thing that I get out of not washing my hair too often is that I don't style my hair too often. So I'm not using all of the hair tools that can be really hot and break my hair and dry it out. And if you're one of those people that has never tried to stop washing your hair so often, I recommend it. I think it's one of those things where if you start to get used to it, your hair gets used to it also, and you just get used to the feel. It's really about getting used to the feel. I hear people tell me all the time that they get too oily and greasy, but that's what top knots are for. That leads me to the next tip, and that's tip number 4, and it's don't use dry shampoo so often. I still have dry shampoo. I love dry shampoo. I think it was such a genius invention, but I also noticed that there was a time, and this was years ago, that I was using way too much dry shampoo, and I guess I was still trying to get used to that feeling of not washing my hair too often, and what I started realizing was my hair started feeling dirtier in some ways using too much dry shampoo because I'd have that product buildup. It was like getting kind of crusty on my scalp. That sounds disgusting, but that's the best way to explain it. I think if you are gonna use dry shampoo, what I tend to do is I use it for that very last day before I wash my hair. I don't have any like scientific proof of this or anything, but I do feel like using too much dry shampoo gives you way too much hair buildup. I feel like it can be uncomfortable for your scalp because remember again, your scalp is skin. So you wanna make sure that you're keeping your scalp very healthy, and I feel like using too much dry shampoo gives you too much buildup. It's like not washing off your makeup on your face. Like you wouldn't put on powder on your face and then not wash your face, or at least I hope not. And if you're one of those people that feels like you're starting to get a little bit more dandruff or flakiness, you might want to try stopping the dry shampoo. You might notice that the less you use it, the better your condition of your scalp just gets. Tip number 5 is not to brush your hair too often. And when you do brush your hair, make sure that you're really gentle with it. So I tend to just use my fingers to style my hair. I also have a wide tooth comb that I use, and I just kind of like pick through my hair a little bit when it's wet, but you especially don't want to brush your hair when it is wet. I know some of my girlfriends with really thick, super curly hair, one of the things that they always do is they brush their hair when it's wet. If you're going to do that, 1, try not to be too rough, but 2, I think that you should get a brush that is made for brushing your hair while it's wet, because it'll help to not tug and pull on your hair. When your hair is wet, it's really, really fragile and it can really break very easily or become thinner. So definitely don't brush your hair while it's wet, or if you do, be very careful with it and use a brush that is made for it. And 2, just don't brush your hair too often. Like I said, I use a comb, I pick through my hair, and when I style my hair, I tend to just go through with my fingers and just finger comb it. Tip number 6 is to use a hair oil or a cream. I've said this before, I like to use hair oils and creams on the tips of my hair. And the reason for that is when I style my hair, I want to kind of seal the ends of it and protect the ends of it. So something that I use is this, it's by Ouai. This is their finishing cream. I love the scent of this, and I also love the finish of it, the way it feels on my hair and when it's on my fingertips. So what I do is I just take a little dollop of it, I spread it around, and I just come to the ends and I just do this to them. And what it's doing is it's nourishing the ends of your hair, which are the driest parts of your hair. That's because this hair has been around the longest. It's kind of a funny thought, right? If you think about it, your hair is old at the very ends. It has an age. And so you want to make sure you're constantly getting trims, obviously, but you also want to nourish the ends of your hair. And so I use something like this, a cream or an oil, to nourish the ends of my hair. It makes it look nicer, just smoother and softer, and it's nourishing it. And also, it's just for at least the day, giving you a little bit of a protective seal on those split ends. Tip number 7 is to try not to have your hair wet too long. I know that sounds really strange because who keeps their hair wet that long? But you know, I know a lot of people, and I've asked a lot of people about this too. We let our hair stay wet after the shower for probably a little too long. I've talked about this before. I love the Aquas towel. It's a microfiber towel. It turns into kind of like a turban on your head, and it's just very gentle to your hair instead of taking a normal towel and trying to like dry your hair and, you know, break it and everything. You wanna be careful. I talked to you guys about how your hair is more fragile when it's wet. It really is. It's super fragile when it's wet. And when you let it stay wet for too long, it becomes even more fragile. And if you think about your hair like your skin, it's breaking down your barrier. And so you don't want to let your hair stay wet too long because you don't wanna break down that barrier, that cuticle of your hair, because when the cuticle isn't flat and smooth and healthy, then it starts to look rigid and unhealthy, and that's the way you should be thinking about it. I like to think about it for people that like skincare and like to think about everything in terms of skin. I like to think of my hair like that too. I want to make sure I'm not breaking the barrier of my hair, and I want it to be healthy. So if you let it be wet too long, and that means to sit in a towel too long, even sometimes letting it air dry for too long. If you have thick hair like me, if I let it air dry for too long, the roots can stay a little bit damp, and that's not healthy for your hair at all. It's just like letting a towel sit there completely wet and not letting it dry. It's the same with your hair. And tip number 8, I get my hair glossed almost every 6 weeks or so. I'm constantly glossing my hair. I don't do it at home. I have done it at home, and sometimes when I'm in a pinch, I will color my hair at home, but I find it so much better when I go into a salon and I have an actual hair colorist color my hair and use a gloss on my hair, because it always helps to seal that cuticle of my hair, and it also just gives it that vibrancy that I want it to have. I'm not really highlighting my hair lately. I might go back to highlighting my hair, but right now I'm not highlighting it. But especially when I was highlighting it, I felt like getting that gloss really helped the color of it, helped make it more shiny, and like I said, it just helps seal that cuticle, so it just looked better in general. And one of the reasons why I go to a hair colorist more often to do my hair is because when you're using a box color, the one thing nobody really talks about is that box color turns brassy so much faster. Like, you could get brassy hair the following week. And sometimes I find the roots don't match the ends of your hair when you're using at-home box color. So even though you think it might be very simple to just keep dyeing your hair like a dark color like mine, you will get brassiness, and that is a problem because then you have to counteract it. Eventually you have to go fix it because it's not looking right. And if your hair color doesn't look even, it also doesn't look healthy. So those are my healthy hair tips. I have so many more, but those are the big ones for me. Those are the ones that I'm always really paying attention to with my own hair. And while I'll also throw out there, my hair is super thick because of genetics, I also think that I just do a really good job of taking care of it. So I encourage you guys to take care of your hair just as well as you take care of your skin. And if you have any other tips, obviously share them in the comments below. I always love hearing all of your tips and the products that you're using to help your hair stay healthy. Find Lily Silk online. I left all the information down below in the description box, and I'll talk to you guys soon. Bye.